Alright traders, let's take a look at the trade that I took on EU. So I took this trade during the Asian session, and on this day it was the government shutdown. Okay, so anyways, okay, price has tapped into the 4-hour POI, so you can see. Right, this candle tapped into the 4-hour POI. So going down to the lower time frame, you can see that we created a 30-minute bullish on the block. Okay, so I waited for 3 signals. Okay, first is the sell side liquidity sweep inside of the 30-minute extreme bullish OB. Next, mitigation of opposing balance, which is this 15-minute bearish OB, and then a retest. Okay, so these are the 3 main things. But the most important thing, I guess, is the mitigation of opposing balances and the retest to the extreme OB. Right, those are really important. So yeah, after we waited for the mitigation of the 15-minute bearish OB, price came down, right, headed downwards. So you see that our low time frame entry model actually played out again. So let me show you. So here we can see that there's a 15-minute bearish OB, right? So here we can see that price did a low time frame sell side liquidity sweep inside of the newly created 5-minute bullish OB. Okay, we tested and mitigated the opposing balance right here, and then okay, so it came up to mitigate the opposing balance, and it came down to retest the extreme OB. Right, so yeah, the low time frame imbalance also played out. The low time frame model, also played out. Right, so as you can see, there's a really strong confirmation for us is when we create a newly formed 15-minute bullish order block. Right, when we test, price is short all the way up. Right, so I took profit here, this line drawn here. So actually price actually ran all the way up to the start of New York session, and then dumped. Okay, but I was expecting price to head towards the 1-hour bearish OB, which is inside the overlap of the daily bearish OB. Right, so yeah, normally for gold it might do that, but for other forex pairs not so. Once they hit the POI, right, they might instantly reverse as seen here. So yeah, that's for EU. And so I guess if I were to hold longer, it would be 1:4. Okay. So I guess the meeting for us is to take partials, I guess, because yeah, you really never know how price will move to the downside. Let's take a look at another trade that I took on EU during the New York session. So at 8:15 we had news that ADP NFP was minus 32. So this is bad for the DXY, right? So since it's bad for DXY and that there's a government shutdown which will weaken the dollar, I was bullish on EU, right? Really bullish. Okay, so you can see on 8:15 it pumped up. So on this pump, okay, I entered somewhere around here. Yeah. Yeah. When it came up and retested, then I entered. Right. It retested the huge fair value gap. Okay. I'll say the 5-minute fair value gap created by news. So I entered from there. Right. Because this can also hold and act as a breaker block. Okay. Yeah, that was my thought. But price came down all the way. So I guess you can really never know. Right. That's why SL is important at times like this. Because you can see on the DXY actually on 8:15 news, price was bearish for DXY. So I guess it swept sell side and then pumped all the way up. So you just recovered, you know. As it dumped, it pumped up to recover. So yes, although we are in line with the fundamentals, but there are times where we still get taken out. So yeah, our SL really has to be conservative. And I guess what I could have done better is done anything better, I guess, is to wait for price to actually retrace to the 15-minute bullish order block, right? Instead of the 5-minute bullish fair value gap. So I guess we are kind of impatient also, right? So if you have to follow the plan, it will be to the OB, right? And we will enter from here. Yep. But as you can see, can we really enter? The price retrace to our level? Not so, because we must create a bullish fair value gap to the upside, as mentioned, right? So it's either a 5 or 15-minute bullish fair value gap to the upside to create a bullish upturn. As you can see, let's say 5-minute bearish fair value gap overlapping the 15-minute bullish OB, which indicates that price might go even lower to seek even more liquidity before deciding whether he wants to pump up or down. So yeah. So if you have to use my trading plan, right, we won't get stopped out, or we will enter trades that aren't really in our favor, but sometimes price might not necessarily hit all the way down to the 15-minute bullish order block. So yeah, so that's the advantages and disadvantages of my strategy. Yeah. Now let's take a look at the trade that we took on Bitcoin. So on the weekly time frame, price is tapped into the weekly bullish OB, and I know for the fact that price is going to hit our drawn liquidity right here. Okay, so going to the low time frame, can identify our drawn liquidity, right, which is here, this area. So right now, I guess Bitcoin is going to hit higher, right? Maybe because it's going to hit higher, most likely, because once the candle close, it will retest. So probably can look for sells when you retest. So buy it with counter trend. Okay. Then after that, after the short-term sells, you can look for long-term buys to create all-time highs. Right, that's what I'm thinking. Okay. So yeah, price also tap into the extreme daily bullish OB residing inside of the weekly bullish OB. So yeah, going to the low time frame, right? So yeah, I was looking for continuation trades, right, to target this area. Okay, so yeah, okay, as we hit the low time frame, right? So my TP was here. So for longs, okay. So yeah, actually I was expecting for price to hit here, just the 4-hour bullish OB, right? Before entering for buys, but that didn't happen, right? Because price wants to be efficient. You only interacted with the imbalances right here. Yeah. So I took note of it and entered for the trade here. So you can see here. Yeah, I guess the main opposing imbalance was the 30-minute bearish OB. So I waited for this to be mitigated, then POIs was yeah, I just simply waited for this 30-minute bearish OB to be mitigated completely. Yep. And then when created a 15-minute bullish OB, and yeah, it retested, then I entered for buys, because 15-minute bullish OB or fair value gap residing inside of the imbalance, right, means that the price has a very strong likelihood that it's going to pump to the upside. So you can see that I put my SL below this 5-minute bullish OB here. Right, to be safer, we should put below the protected low. But anyways, I place it here, and price is I can say double sell side sweep. Right, price did a double sell side sweep, did create a 15-minute bullish fair value gap and OB. I guess it did, but it's pretty small. Yeah, it did, but it's pretty small. Okay, so I guess after the sweep, there's really no more imbalances already, so price just shot all the way up, right? So following the three criteria, I guess the three criteria happen, right? Liquidity sweep, there's no imbalance, so it's fine. Then creation of fair value gap or order block, which happened, right? But it's really small, and also there isn't retest of the extreme OB. There isn't retest of the 15-minute bullish extreme OB, right? So yeah, price just shot all the way up to our drawn liquidity, but I didn't hold towards the drawn liquidity because for me, I'm quite conservative from Bitcoin, so I was aiming this area for a 1:2.88. Yeah, so he hit my TP. For to hold, then it would have been a 1:5.7. So yeah. Hey traders, let's tell you 4 trades that I put on go. Okay, each with a 0.5% risk. So this was during the Asian session, and as you can see, I got stopped out. And yeah. So how did I enter for the trade? So here it's our continuation, right? Gold is just breaking all-time highs regularly. So here you can see that this is looking for continuation buys. So this will be our most recent 15-minute bullish OB, and I waited for a sell-side liquidity sweep, mitigation of opposing imbalance, which is the 5-minute bearish OB, right, and then the retest. So after waiting for all this, right, we still got stopped out. Okay, and afterwards, after this, you can say double liquidity sweep, right? Okay, price came up. You can see on the 15th, that created a bullish fair value gap. We tested the extreme OB, right? And yeah, even after all this manipulation, right, price manipulated a second time, right? So it did I guess if you count this as a manipulation, 1, 2, 3, did 3 manipulations before pumping all the way to the upside. Okay, so I guess the main thing that we had to look out for is the only thing that I could find is that only 4 hours you could have waited for this low to be swept. This Wednesday's candle's low to be swept. Sorry, this 4-hour candle on Wednesday to be swept. Okay, since they are like, relatively close to each other, these lows, price will sweep both lows. Yeah. So yeah, I realized that there are quite a few times where the 4-hour lows play a very important part in our buy scenarios. Right. Yeah, so price just swept these 2 lows off. Okay, so yeah, because this low hasn't been swept yet, so that's what it did. Okay, we have to look on the 15-minute. Okay, maybe let's try our 15-minute strategy. Yeah. I guess it worked. Right, that's a 15-minute bullish OB. Okay, and price comes down and tests all the way. So I guess we have to wait for a complete test. Okay, so I guess if you take a look, right, okay, price come up, create a 15-minute bullish OB, price come down to test, you have to actually wait for the sweep. Okay, yeah, we have to wait for a complete test. So when this candle comes, you patiently wait for the candle to form. Okay, or alternatively, you can see that after waiting for the candle to form, we created another 15-minute bearish OB for us to mitigate. So after that mitigation, price come down to the extreme fair value gap created by this liquidity sweep. Okay, so you can see it this way too, right? So it's constantly mitigating opposing balances before pumping all the way up. Yep. Yeah, so one thing I realized is, right, if you look at the manipulation phase, it's only at the top part of the bullish OBs. Right, it means that the entire OBs hasn't been filled yet. So price actually went down to fill the entire OB. Okay, and yeah, here I also did a Fib extension. I also used Fib extension to see where price might go. So I guess it was pretty near the 0.5 level. Okay, and yeah, I also got stopped up by 5 pips, as you can see here. That's why this had loss on this trade. So for the next trade, same thing, looking for a sell side sweep as per the usual trade. Okay, and then mitigation of imbalance, which is the 30-minute bearish OB. Then wait for price to retrace downwards. Okay, so ADP NFP was at 8.15. So 8.15 was around here, I guess. 8.15. Yeah. So bad for USD, good for gold. Yeah, so it just pumped up and then continue in its intended direction, which is down. Okay, so yeah, regardless of news, price will still follow the price action that gold wants to do. So pump down, double sell side sweep, indication of opposing balance, and then here, this is where the candle came that took everyone out, and also me. Right, so I placed my SL below the 5-minute bearish OB and got taken out. Yeah. Sorry, not 5-minute bearish OB. Yeah, got taken out. This was at 10:45. I guess it's here. Right, so after this entire sweep, right at 8.15, price really went up bullish. Okay, so yeah, then gold of course went bearish. So if you compare it to the previous scenario, right, even though the sweep, price still went down. Even though there's a there's a sweep here, price went up. So the difference is yeah, that unfortunately our bias is wrong, right? Our fundamental bias is wrong, right? Because supposedly, right, shutdown and bad NFP results means gold should pump. But in this case, gold side a very important sell side liquidity, right? As seen here. It swept 4-hour candle liquidity and then pumped up. Okay, so yeah, so this what happens for gold. It just dumped and got taken out. Okay, so I guess another main thing is looking for the creation of the 15-minute bullish OB. So as you can see here, no creation of it. Okay, there's no creation of the OB. Yeah. So at first I entered, right? And I got off break even, and then I entered again before this candle before this candle appeared and took me out. Yeah. So now we can, okay, if we identify price action right now, you can see that, right? You see, how many times this 30-minute bearish OB has held its ground? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and it's still holding. Okay. So yeah. Can you see anything? I guess gold can pump up, right? I guess if we were to actually come down and retest this level, we can look for buys. And because I see a very high time frame sell side sweep here, so it's very probable we can hit the drawn liquidity here, or even here. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So I also have to check on the XY to see the price action on it. Yeah. So yeah, that's all.